and it is subject to removal and penalties if it persists after a warning. This also includes city employees and council members. Harvey police officers are present at public city council meetings to assist the chairman in preserving order. If any person is ordered to withdraw or leave the meeting by the mayor/chair and refuses, that person can be cited and criminally charged with disorderly conduct. The Harvey police can escort the person out of the building. If the person refuses to leave and physically resists the Harvey police, that person can also be charged with resisting arrest. Under Illinois law, resisting arrest is defined as knowingly resisting or obstructing the performance of one known to be a police officer, firefighter, or correctional institution employee of any authorized act within his or her official capacity. This constitutes a Class A misdemeanor. The statute requires that the act of resisting must involve some physical act that imposes an obstacle that may impede, hinder, interrupt, prevent, or delay the performance of the officer's duties. Examples include struggling, wrestling, going limp, or physically aiding a third party to avoid arrest. Illinois law explicitly states that a person is not authorized to use force to resist an arrest by a known peace officer, even if the arrest is believed or is, in fact, unlawful. Resistance of even an unlawful arrest by a known police officer is a violation of the statute. People v. Borders, 2020. Thank you.
Order. Today is the City of Harvey Council meeting. Today is Monday, February 24, 2025 at 7:04 p.m. All the persons, council members will be so kind as to sign in. Themselves present. It appears that we have a quorum. Next item on the agenda is invocation of pledge of allegiance. Deacon Roberts, would you be so kind?
May we bow our heads in prayer. Gracious Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you for the day, Lord. Thank you for this city council meeting. Thank you for the great city of Harvey and everybody that lives here in the city of Harvey. Lord, we're asking you to usher in the Holy Spirit, Lord Jesus, to be in the midst of this meeting. Lord Jesus, manifest your Holy Spirit into each and every individual who is under the sound of my voice. Lord Jesus, give us the right frame of mind so we can be structured and do what's right by you, Lord, and right by the residents of the great city of Harvey. Lord Jesus, we ask it all. Lord Jesus, you said that if we look to the hills, we can have anything that's in our heart desire. Matthew 6:33 says we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. And we're asking for the strength of the Holy Spirit this evening, Lord Jesus. This is our prayer. We ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Want to grace us there, Harvey?
I sure would if I knew all the words.
Oh, come on. It's been a stony road, that's for sure. Next item on the agenda is executive session, discussion of personnel and litigation matters. Chair would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
There's a motion by the first, second by the sixth. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, hearing none, the ayes have it. That is 7:07 p.m. We will go into executive session. We should be short. See, in the meantime, you're going to do that up so we got to bring everybody out here.
Oh, yeah.
Good evening. This is the City of Harvey public hearing for today, Monday, February 24th, 2025. It is 6:10 p.m. We've asked that all of the council members mark themselves as present. We have a quorum. So our next item on the agenda is public comment. Isn't it? Okay.
I have jacket plans.
Okay. So next on the agenda is an ordinance adopting the comprehensive plan for the city of Harvey. We are going to,
Excuse me, I
We
have
are
a
going
public
to-
comment, Mr. Mayor, and I did try to sign in. I was told there's no public comment sign in,
we are,
but there is on the agenda.
well, you know what? Go ahead and approach the public comment, please.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Ron, I'm with the Harvey Historical Society, I'm also a resident. I just wanted to mention about the comprehensive plan. I think it's great to get a comprehensive plan, but as far as I know, we haven't had a meeting about that since last fall, I believe. I was supposed to be in the steering committee, but I was removed, I suppose, because I asked too many questions. But yeah, this is like a serious blueprint for the city for what usually about 10 years they last. I was just talking to the gentleman in South Holland about their comprehensive plan, and they would go and have meetings with the ministers, meetings with all the businesses, meetings in the different parts of the town. So, I mean, I would say before we can vote on that, you know, it's not appropriate at all to take any vote until we actually talk about the plan. And not only talk about it in different parts of the city over many, many meetings, but also take the feedback gathered and change the plan according to that feedback. So I just wanted to make comments about that. That is how, you know, a comprehensive plan should be done with people's participation. So it's not, you know, top down. Otherwise, I mean, we might as well just call it Chris Clark's plan for Harvey. But if it's supposed to be everybody's plan, we need everybody to participate. Thank you.
Anybody from council believe in? Would you like to address the issue as far as public participation and how you went about gathering public participation?
Sure. Thank you to the mayor and council for having us here tonight. My name is Josh Kuntz. I'm with House Levine. We are the urban planning firm that was tasked to assist the city and CMAP with this process. And we did have a pretty wide-ranging program of public engagement. We started with a community kickoff here in this room that was well attended. We also did a community visioning workshop in this room. We had outreach at senior bingo event where we had a full room here and got to talk to a lot of people about what they saw as the future of Harvey. We did a program of key stakeholder interviews and focus groups where we talked to different business owners. And we've had a good collaboration with CMAP and with staff throughout the process, and also a steering committee that was able to provide guidance along the way to make sure that this is a plan that's really specific to Harvey.
So, how is housing being paid?
We are paid through CMAP.
And in order for you to be paid by CMAP, are there certain requirements that you must follow in order to basically receive your check and make sure that you're doing your due diligence as far as the comprehensive plan is concerned?
Yeah, we have to follow our scope of work that's agreed at the outset and do all the meetings and perform all the work satisfactorily to CMAP's satisfaction.
And part of that is, of course, to making sure that the public is engaged.
Absolutely.
And if I'm correct, it starts on page 2 of your comprehensive plan when you start talking about public engagement. Is that correct?
Yes, we have a summary of public engagement included in the plan. We also did outreach summaries for everything that we did along the way.
And part of that was also to allow the public, for those who were not able to attend, the several meetings, I don't know, was it 3 or 4? Was it 3? Do you remember? It was one in March, one in November, another in November, but I want to make sure that I not forget. 3? Okay. But outside of those meetings, the public was still allowed to participate online as well. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, and some of the people who, there are people in the audience who actually participated in some of those meetings that we had. So, it's hard to say that maybe there wasn't enough public engagement. Nevertheless, are there any persons concerned about the older persons?
Yes.
Chair recognizes the second one.
It was just spoke about addressing the community at large and the various ways in which that perspective was addressed. But I guess my further question as we continue to move the comprehensive plan along, how will the city address potential opposition or concerns from residents who may be weary of rapid change? And how will community buy in to secure the implementation phase? How will the buy-in be for them to feel secure as the comprehensive plan is being implemented?
Well, actually, that question is outside the scope of what we're here for today. But I will say this much. The city of Harvey has not had a comprehensive plan since 1968. So this was something that was a long time coming. It is something that many of our neighbors have done, and some have done several times over the decades. So we are trying. Change is not always easy. That's not a unique statement for me. There's been many people, Barack Obama is one I can recall, saying change is not always easy. However, we try to do as much as we can to work with our constituents, try to make sure they're informed, and we will continue to do so as we move forward. Yes.
This is in regards to this transit. How will the proposed improvements to transit positively impact job access and local commerce in Harvey, particularly for the working class?
How will transit?
The proposed investments to transit, for instance, the project that's coming to the PACE, CTA, Metro station, how is that going to positively impact job access? We have about a 30% employment rate here in Harvey. So knowing that these new proposed investments are coming in what ways are we looking to see these major entities being benefactors to employment opportunities or contractual opportunities? I've even seen in a recent publication where it was talking about entrepreneurship and supporting entrepreneurs here in Harvey. And just trying to see, based on the comprehensive plan at hand, how does the transit piece positively impact job access and local commerce in Harvey?
To me, it would seem, but I appreciate the question, it would seem it would take so hard for people to understand that if you don't have transportation to get to work, and now you have transportation to get to work, if you don't have transportation to get to a job, and now you have transportation to get to a job, that's a positive thing. And so investments in transportation, we've been doing this since we started our TOD time. Investments in transportation help to create that connectivity that many of our residents may or may not have. So that's how it works.
I guess I'm more so motion to call the question.
We're not taking wrong. We're not taking wrong. We're not taking wrong in this
This is
particular
an open forum discussion, so there's nothing being voted on, so we can't vote.
Please direct the comment home. Before we do anything, I want to make sure we get this straight with everybody here. When we direct comments, and you have so far. I want to make sure we direct comments to the chief. Okay?
Thank you.
So, please proceed.
Thank you. Knowing, we've increased fees over time as it relates to housing, to support, one, the climate of, I would say, the index, just annual raises for most people. And we moved our fees and increased our fines to be at the consumer price index. So knowing that, and for most, we have spring and summer up ahead, and a lot of people are going to want to do, different things to their property, but maybe be tiered because of those increased costs and fees. So my question is, what initiatives are included to promote sweat equity or community-driven renovations where residents can contribute labor in exchange for ownership or significant discounts on homes to improve, their overall, their property?
Once again, that is outside the scope of this comprehensive plan. It doesn't even address that unless you can point me to a specific page.
I
I'm missing.
The language is spoken about with community collaborative opportunities, similarly to like the engagement that was here a couple of weeks ago, where we're bringing folks out who are interested in buying property. This kind of falls underneath the latter of that. And it does speak about a housing plan, just it speaks about parks and recreation, housing. So the community collaborative piece, it didn't speak to something specifically. I had a second ward resident call today and said, I would like to replace my entire sidewalk if I buy all the labor and all the materials. In what ways can I collaborate with the city to get that done? So I'm thinking about that as it relates to this and the collaborative effort that was highlighted in the comprehensive plan around housing and ways in which we're intending to move the city forward with housing by people, one, developing their own point and ensuring that the blight that currently exists maybe at their property is ceased, in their want to drive change or, highlight their corner, create more public safety.
I hear you, but once again, what's before us is an ordinance about the comprehensive plan for the city of Harvey, where you are the one which I will say are very good places, because there are things that have to be considered in the future. But this is the first step to that development. So as we are continuing to have more meetings, as far as, because one of the things that will happen is that the comprehensive plan is not the end of our engagement, from what I understand from CMAT and from Housing Within. So we will be having other opportunities to try to address those particular items that you're talking about, and maybe you can actually come up and present viable solutions that can be used through us. Sure, that's the sixth ward.
First of all, I'd like to say good evening, everybody. And I've spent most of the day reading this extensive comprehensive plan for City of Harvey. This is not so much of a question, but it's more of a statement. And when I had an opportunity to go to chapter 3, page 39, and I read the vision statement, and it reads as follows. The vision statement for the City of Harvey comprehensive plan is a broad, aspirational statement that is described by the desire for future states of this community with a focus on land use and development. The vision statement serves as an inspiring and guiding image of what the community aims to become over a long term. The vision statement captures the collective values, aspirations, and identity of the community and sets the direction for a plan that we haven't had. But there's one step further when it said the goals are. And the goals are to represent key areas of focus support on the vision statement and articulate the broad outcome of the community inspired to achieve those address critical aspects of the plan, such as land use, transportation, and community facilities. That portion of this vision statement, it really hit home. And after looking at all of the photographs and all of the work that had been put in by CMAP, and I think you all should be familiar, to set in place some type of guidelines in regards to our city and what the future is for the great city of Harvey. That's pretty much what I want to say.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Oh, yes, sir. And I did have an opportunity to attend one of those meetings. I think it was the first one.
Thank you. So, before we continue to our journey, I want to definitely thank CMAP and House Levine for the work that they've done, but also to thank our residents who have helped to participate, both our residents and commercial businesses, those who have had some type of input as far as this comprehensive plan is concerned. I was going to proceed television up there. I was going to do a presentation as far as that's concerned. But we're going to be doing more. So I will hold off on that one today. What is important here, in my opinion, is that, first of all, this is the beginning of a work that needed to be done almost 57 years ago. And like many of the things in the city of Harvey, this administration and this council, excuse me, and those on the previous council, have been working to handle those issues that should have been worked on decades ago. Whether it's a metro station at 147th Street that had not been repaired for 40 years, or 154th Street that had not been redone or reconstructed since the founding of the city, we find ourselves having to do a lot of that work. And that's handling things in the past. But we still need to learn how to address the things in the future. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm talking to that future person, those future alderpersons, that future mayor, those future residents and businesses that may be here when we are no longer here. Number one, please do the work and adopt a comprehensive plan. That's number one. It provides you the guidance that you need for your city. For all intents and purposes, because it has so much community input in it, it's apolitical. It's to document that whether I am the mayor, or someone else is the mayor, or someone else in the future is the mayor, they now have a blueprint of what you told them from your participation that you want to see out of your community and out of your leaders. It also holds your elected officials accountable, because the elected officials now have that guideline, those guardrails that say, look, you can only do so much, or you can only go so far. Because your community has basically said that this is what they want to see. So whoever those people are in the future, if by chance you end up seeing this video at some point in time, because it seems like the internet is never going away, if you by chance see this video, just know that one, you need to adopt a comprehensive plan again. And two, you need to make sure that the community is involved and that you need to follow it. Because it will really help you to move forward in your endeavors of trying to improve your municipality. So that being said, like I said, without my presentation, but like I said, we're going to divide this up into several pieces. As we continue to work with CMAP and Council of Aging, we're going to divide this up into several pieces, and we're going to start breaking it down so that we can make sure that our constituents, those who say, for instance, weren't able to participate, and those who don't quite understand what a comprehensive plan is, breaking it down for them so that they can see what it is that we're doing as well. So that being said, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
There's a motion on the 6th, a second on the 5th. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, hearing none, we will adjourn at 6:30. Thank you very much. We'll see everybody inside. open session. Hold on one second. Everybody would make sure they mark themselves present again. Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to return to open session. Motion by the fifth, second by the sixth. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, hearing none, ayes have it. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes. Starting January 27, 2025, that was a public hearing. The chair will entertain a motion, has a motion by the third and a second by the first. Is there any debate? Hearing none, you may cast your votes. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes dated January 27, 2025. That was a regular meeting. Chair will entertain a motion to approve. A motion by the second, a second by the fifth. Is there any debate? Motion by the third, second by the fifth. If there's no debate, you can cast your vote. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes dated February 10, 2025. There's a motion by the third, second by the first. Is there any debate? Hearing none, you can cast your vote. Motion carries. Next item is item number 7, approval of bills 7A for February 24th, 2025. Is there a recommendation from the finance chair?
No, sir, Mayor. We didn't have a meeting, but we plan to have a meeting before the next city council meeting.
So if there's no objection, we will just table this matter until then. Hearing now, we will proceed to item number 8, approval of ordinances and resolutions for the city of Harvey. 88, old business. 8B, new business. New business 1 is an ordinance adopting the comprehensive plan for the city of Harvey. A motion by the first, second by the third. Is there any debate? Hearing none, you can cast your votes. Motion carried. Next.
Is there a number for that?
It's 3508. It's 3508.
Next item on the agenda is an ordinance approving a special use permit for Prime Auto Glass and Tint at 16324 South Halsted. This ordinance authorizes Prime Auto Glass and Tint to locate at 16324 South Halsted Street and operate an auto-related business subject to conditions under subsection 4.8 of the ordinance. The chair entertains a motion. There's a motion by the sixth and a second by the third. Is there any debate? Hearing none, we cast your vote.
That's ordinance 3509. 3509.
Next item on the agenda is an ordinance approving a special use permit for Loomis Ave home daycare at 15328 Marshall Avenue. This ordinance authorizes Zulema Villalobos to locate at 15328 Marshall Avenue and operate the home daycare subject to conditions under subsection 4A of the ordinance. There's a motion by the third and a second by the first. Is there any debate? Hearing none, you may cast your vote.
That's ordinance 3510. Motion carried.
Next item is a resolution ending 2986 redevelopment agreement with Southland Development Authority and its subsidiaries to rehabilitate homes. This resolution amends the redevelopment agreement with Southland Development Authority approved March 14, 2022 to modify the list of properties to be redeveloped, include additional properties, allow new subsidiaries, require construction to start within 6 months after properties are approved, obligated, and require completion of projects within 8.5 months from start of construction. As it pertains to this particular ordinance, resolution, there have been 3 homes that have been rehabilitated under our current agreement that we have with them. And of course, city homes are always available for purchase by residents. Actually, we have, and this council has voted on several occasions where during the tax reactivation program, the city offered homes to residents, city homes to residents, and they were purchased by those residents. So, is there any debate?
Yes, ma'am.
Chair recognizes the second.
In the email that I sent this past Friday, February 21st, one of my questions as it relates to this redevelopment agreement, being that Southland Development Authority, I believe already has 10 or so homes that, or properties that they've been assigned to complete or rehab, I would think that we would wait to see what the progress and completion status is. You said that there were 3 that were completed, but there are still 7 that are remaining that have not been touched, completed, updated. So now we're going to go and provide more homes to this group. How can we ensure that what already is in the previous redevelopment agreement is going to be upheld, since we're now adding an additional home, these additional homes? And thank you for clarifying that homes are available for residents, because several residents have asked. Additionally, how could, and this doesn't personally pertain, but since you brought up the fact that residents have the ability to purchase the city-owned homes, how could they?
That was your question that you asked. That's why I was answering.
Thank you. I guess, how do they access this? So this is a 2-part. How then do they access a list to identify what homes are city-owned?
That's actually not a question that's relevant to what's before us right now. I try to answer the question for you, but we're not going to go deeper down that rabbit hole. If there's something that you would like to address later, we could address it at a later time.
Okay. So then the first part of the question was
One, because here's the thing. First of all, it's not really a debate. And we've gone through this before. But for some odd reason, it's something that, the second word all woman has to get off the chest. So, listen.
I appreciate you listening. It's not so much me getting it off my chest, it's me following the directions that you've given us since February, which is to email out Friday before the council meeting at 3 p.m. And to no avail, I received a rebuttal. So that's why I'm asking. And so
We've given the questions, and we've given the response to such. So,
to the second part of it.
right. To vote, how many homes have been rehabilitated from the current agreement? 3. Is city-owned property for purchase, it says is city-owned property for purchase by residents. Presuming that means city property is available for residents to purchase, the answer to that question is yes.
The debate.
So the debate part is whether you are for or against the resolution that is before us. And if you are saying, well, I'm going to vote yes, and I will vote yes for this particular reason, or I will vote no for this particular reason, that's what we were trying to ascertain. So, Chair, recognize the fifth.
Just for clarity, I'm choosing to vote for this because it's my understanding that we are reducing the property. We're not increasing.
And we're also adding guardrails which say that, and this is, and to go back to the question that the second word all was addressing, there were not any of those guardrails in place. They basically required them to have performed when they're part of the resolution within a certain period of time. So, I don't remember, Ms. Davis, do you remember when this actually was passed by council the first time?
March 14th.
So it was passed in 2022, March 14th, 2022. And since then, they have redeveloped 3. In my opinion, I will say, I do not think that they are moving fast enough. And I don't think that, I think that's because we did not have any of those requirements in the agreement, which is why we were trying to amend that agreement so that we can make sure that they are moving forward with what they say that they are going to do. And that being said, if there are other developers out there that would like to discuss matters as far as developments with the city of Harvey, you are more than welcome to contact the mayor's office, and we will discuss those matters with you. Please come prepared to discuss the matters, and please come with your financial information showing that you have the ability to perform on whatever redevelopment you desire. Hearing no further statements, there's a motion by the third, a second by the first. You may cast your votes. All the keys carried. Is it working? Second, I want to see. Okay, no, carried.
Resolution number is 03098.
What we're going to do is I'm going to ask for us to stand in recess for 5 minutes. Let us sign out and do the presentation. So, take 5 minutes to recess, come back at 7:40. successfully regain order. The all the prisoners will mark themselves present. Here we go, quorum in. I wanted to address the public about resolution, actually doesn't have a resolution number yet, but it's a resolution number 5. It's a resolution providing for the reimbursement of demolition costs for the building located at 15222 Loomis Ave. This resolution accepts Mayor Clark's offer to pay for the costs attendant to the demolition of the residence and agrees to reimburse Mayor Clark for the said costs as soon as funds are available for that purpose. So what I wanted everybody to see was, first of all, the property in question. So here is the property in question. If you look to your left, that property is the burned out property at 15222 Loomis. Now, and next to it is 15220. What's so unique about these properties is how closely they have been built to each other. Now, for those, of course, who want to know why is that the case and how did that happen, I can't tell you because I wasn't even born when these houses were built. I don't even think I was thought about being born when these houses were built. Nevertheless, if you can look right in the center of the screen, there is an air conditioning unit. So if you've ever used an air conditioning unit on the side of your home, outside your window or whatever, you can see that the houses are so close that an air conditioning unit is almost too small to fit in between the two. Additionally, if we were to go up to where the gutters are, where we see this gutter here, we can see that it was touching basically the house next door to it. The reason why I bring that up, and as you can see up here toward this particular area, and there's more, but there's the blackening of the house from when 15222 caught on fire. Now, what makes this unique than any other house? One is that in this particular case, the homeowner had insurance to actually pay for the reconstruction of the home. So that was not really an issue. But, of course, the house that would call on fire, 15222, it stands in the way of any possible reconstruction. And if I'm correct, and of course the firefighter deputy chief could correct me, when they went to put out the fire on 15222 Loomis, not only did it burn that house, but it also severely burned 15220 enough where the resident can no longer live in this particular unit at all. So not only was it 15222 burned, but also the house next to it is unlivable. So what happened? And what's going on, and what does that have to do with today? Well, I found out about this situation, and I wanted to do something about it, and I wanted to do something about it immediately. So this time I went to our city administrator and said, we need to get that house down right away so that the house next to it can get repaired. We need to get it demoed, we need to get it removed, we need to do that right now. This lady has been out of her home since January 10th, we need to get it repaired, we need to get that demoed, and we need to get that work started. And I got the usual response that I normally get when I'm talking about finances here in the city of Harvey. And that response was, Mayor, while that is a nice gesture, we do not have the finances to do so. So the city of Harvey does not have the finances to tear that down in a timely fashion. Now, there are some things that we can do. We can try to get a grant. Hopefully, a grant becomes available. And in trying to get that grant, we can apply for it, wait for the response, what, about 6 months or something like that, if the grant is even available. And then after we get the award letter saying that we have been awarded the grant, wait about 2 years to actually receive the funds to demolish this home, to allow this resident to move back in her home. Another way of doing it is the possibility of we have we have property taxes that are coming in. Now, of course, we know, as I've said many times, only 48% of the Harvey residents actually pay their property taxes, so 52% pay their property taxes, 48% don't. And of the commercial properties, 465 commercial properties, specifically parcels, had not paid their taxes in 2021 to the tune of $12,517,217. $12,517,217. Not only have they not paid their property taxes for 2021, but some of them have not paid their property taxes for almost 20 years. So, when we get in whatever property taxes we get in, we already have too much month at the end of the money as far as that's concerned. So another way of looking at it is we will have some gaming money coming in that will come from the casinos. And eventually we will get that in. But once again, that depends on how the rest of the government functions and making sure that Harvey gets its money as soon as possible. All the while, this woman is waiting for an opportunity to try to get into her home. So, once the city administrator told me that, I decided to take it upon myself and volunteer to personally extend an interest-free loan to the city of Harvey so that we can pay for the demolition of that home so this lady can get back into her home as soon as possible. And repeat that again. It is an interest-free loan that I am withdrawing, because to make it clear, from my own bank account to help to demolish this home. And whenever the city gets in the position to be able to repay, then the city will repay at that particular point in time. Now, I will not be voting on this because I am an interested party to a certain degree. There's not a conflict of interest, but the bottom line is I still think it's better for me not to cast a vote on it. And I think many of you would know what my vote would be. However, I want to make sure that everybody understands that. Now, then the next question comes, well, how much is it going to cost? Well, the preliminary cost for this demolition is $25,000. Okay? So, $25,000 is the preliminary cost for this demolition. If there is asbestos in the home, that could increase the cost by approximately another $10,000. So that means that, once again, to be clear, I will be paying somewhere between $25,000 to $35,000 in order to demolish this home. But I think it's a good thing to do. I think it's the right thing to do. And God put it on my heart to do it. You know, somebody had a question the other day about what spirit was I being led by. I'm being led by the Spirit of Christ. And so, don't please, because y'all know we don't get in trouble for clapping now. But I'm being led by the Spirit of Christ. If there is anybody that feels like, well, maybe I shouldn't be spending my own money in order to do so, you're more than welcome to spend yours. But what I would hope that you would do is not allow this woman to be out of her home any longer than she has to be. Okay? Also, we do have other abandoned homes in the city of Harvey that we do not have the ability to fund at this particular point in time. So if you have the finances to do so, join us and find a home. What is it, adopt a home or something like that? Adopt an abandoned house and join us and help to get that house torn down. But I want to make sure that people understand, because what happens is, if we don't tell this story, the internet tends to take it over. If we don't tell this story, then those who, I guess, don't believe, end up trying to make it into something else that it's not. Now, we will be doing several things as we go through this process. If the council decides to vote in favor of this resolution, then we're going to have a ceremony in the future where we actually issue the check. So we are going to find the demolition company, and depending on what the cost is and everything like that, it may have to go out for bid. So we will follow all of the necessary steps. But at the end of the day, we will have a check presenting ceremony, and I will present the check to the city, so you can see it for yourself. So those who say, other than seeing my routing number and my account number, because I know some of y'all out there. Okay. So at the end of the day, this is what we will be doing, and we will be like Kendrick, walking into New Orleans, like we from LA, talking about we from Harvey. Yeah, mustard, yeah. Can't do mustard? They don't like my hip-hop references, y'all. But nevertheless, we're doing this because we're proud. I'm doing this because God has blessed me to be able to do so. Bottom line. And the person involved who really wants to try to stay out of the limelight, you know, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, has gone through enough right now. And if there's something that we can do. Now that don't mean I'm an easy touch, y'all. So everybody don't be coming talking about, can you get $5, because the answer's still gonna be no. But at the end of the day, as far as this is concerned, this is what we're doing. And I pray and hope that the council will unanimously support this endeavor. Thank you. You know what we're about to do, right? Turn the TV off, turn the TV off. Good, man. Yeah, it's good, man. That being said, looks like we have a motion. Oh, this one didn't we get? Yeah, motion from the third. And second from the 6th. Is there any debate?
Yes.
Chair entertains the 4th order.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I would like to mention the conflict of interest with a mayor receiving any fees or any money due to any type of liability, any job being done in the city.
Motion to call the question.
You have to wait till.
Let me finish.
Thank you. Can you remember that next time we went to somebody?
Hey, wait. First of all, we said.
She should know by now that she should wait till I'm finished.
Out of order. Now I'm gonna get in order. You don't have a chance to speak.
All right.
Just let me get it in order. Okay?
Do not interrupt.
Because you were not here for the 6 o'clock meeting. And we all agreed that if you are going to address, you address the chair. You address, and y'all were done a little back and forth now. You address the chair. Okay? So that's all we want to do. So please proceed.
Before I proceed, this is one thing that we have to understand. It's all about people speaking and voicing their opinion, and just simply wait till your turn is to speak. Don't interrupt anybody. Ain't that what I hear? It's topics going on. Okay. I don't feel it's a good practice to have your name, any alderman, anybody in the city receiving any type of check, anything for anything. That is my opinion, is not a good practice and a conflict of interest. Number 2, 2003, Ken Fox donated $2.4 million, which of course a portion of that was supposed to go towards demolishing vacant properties. Why can't the money be taken from there? Okay, number 3, we got so many potential lawsuits of businesses that we've been shutting down and court cases. I have a case that they sent me a letter saying that my name is on the lawsuit for O'Reilly's when I didn't even vote for that ordinance, but I'm involved, so I cannot say anything about it. We have a forced audit for the city because we didn't turn it in time. Now, we got to pay $100,000 to get an audit for a late fee for 22, and we got to do it for 23 and 24. Where's this unnecessary money going when we can have this for this? Thank you.
Address the issue of conflict of interest, please. Address the issue of conflict of interest.
As far as the conflict of interest would be concerned, I mean, again, our firm hasn't looked at this, but as long as there's no financial gain to the mayor for this, I don't think there's anything that would call for interest or anything like that. I'm not seeing at this moment a conflict.
Is that a good practice?
That's up to you. I don't make policy decisions. You have to make that.
Sure. That's the first word.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I am for this, and I know as well, for the last 12 years, I have been spending money out of my pocket for my ward events, and then will submit the bills because of that fact that the ward does not, or the city does not.
Mic on.
I'm sorry.
And speak into it, please.
As I was saying, I am for this, and I commend you for this, because even myself, not under 25,000 maybe, but I did get up to 17,000 of my own money spending into the first ward for expenses. So I would be a hypocrite if I would not vote for this. And I know that there are other aldermen that will ante up first and then will try to seek the reimbursement. And when the city has the funds to allocate it, they usually do. So that is why I am for this, because I do it myself. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the 6th ward.
Thank you, Mayor. Word of God says, to whom much is given, much is required. Mayor, I think that's a wonderful gesture that you're about to do and undertake. I wish that I had a few dollars to throw in with you, but I don't want to get in the middle of that. The fact that you mentioned that you're giving this financial money without an interest rate. Anybody that gives a loan nowadays is going to get some type of increase on their return. The attorney said it so eloquently. The fact that you're not making any gain, what you're doing, is that Holy Spirit just manifesting itself inside you, brother. That's what it is. That ain't nothing but Jesus, man. That ain't nothing but Jesus working through you. And I'm glad to be a part of it.
Chair recognizes the 2nd ward.
Mayor, I agree.
No, recognize the 2nd ward.
I don't know. Stop.
Thank you. I empathize with this resident. I remember reaching out to her when this happened. And that one night, it was on Loomis and Lexington where house fires broke out. And when we think about allocation, and I'm going to even commend you, Mayor Clark, that is very noble of you to reach deep down in your wallet to support a resident who pays, who's been a taxpayer for 47 years here in the city of Harvey. So by all means, we should be looking at all ways that we can best support. But when I think about this, and even I brought this to various residents across the second ward, some of those in which have come to me and said, what can we do about this dilapidated property next to me? And I'm offering this to them as a solution because their home maybe next door to them is burnt out. And so when we think about equitable practices, this is where the one size isn't a fit all. And so that's my piece with this. And when we talk about, allocation of funding, on January 13th, bills list, we took about 42 people down to MWRB. And that cost us $4,000. If this costs us roughly $30,000 and $4,000 was allocated for one day or one trip, that leaves $26,000 left. For one day, cost us $4,000. And so when we think about, it's not about us not having the money, it's how we're allocating the money. And so we need to have best viable practices for this not to have been something that came before you, attorney. You did not review it. I haven't seen these practices modeled in other municipalities. And if they have, I've seen residents really come to full speed about what should and shouldn't be from a best case scenario. So I empathize, I do, I simply do. But I think we need to, when we're offering solutions such as this, we need to also offer some solutions that can be a widespread notion, right? Because literally just a 2-block over radius in Lexington, my home, old home at 15216 Lexington has a yellow placard on it that says the home is going to be demolished. And 3 doors down, going back eastbound or westbound, there's an elderly family there. There's a man that's about 72 years of age who constantly reaches out about all the dilapidation and the different things on Lexington. So I just want to be able to support with fidelity the residents and say that this best practice that we're doing on Loomis can be done on Gardner, Lexington, Sterlington, Myrtle, all across the second ward of the city of Harvey abroad. And that's more of a statement. I understand this is a full debate, but I just think that there are better ways fiscally that we can allocate our funding so we can have more equitable processes.
We can have as many equitable processes as possible when y'all start coming up with them ducats to make sure that we can demolish these homes. When we stop fighting about whether places like O'Reilly's need to pay their taxes, then we would have the money to go ahead and demolish these homes. And there are, once again, 465 parcels that are commercial properties that have not paid the taxes to the city of Harvey, some in almost 20 years. So once again, we can stop debating about that and realize that those people owe us money, then it won't be necessary for me to come up with anything in order to try them out. But one thing for sure, once again, if you don't like it, I just think that the best thing you can probably do is, if you want to make it equitable, come up with a Kobe Chapman fund or something like that to go toward, demolition of homes. And then that'll be fine. The chair recognizes the third order.
Yes, Mayor, I also would like to commend you, because that just takes a lot. It shows selflessness. You're not selfish about it. And I know the owner has to be really happy about it, to be out of your home. Because we all know families nowadays don't support you when you go into crisis. You're in their way, you're invading their privacy and things of that nature. I agree. This is something I've been to that home since sitting in the seat. We could do a lot for the city if the businesses would pay what they owe. If they would just pay what they owe, we can tear down a lot of houses. And guess what? If they have been paying what they owe after 10, 20, 30 years, probably wouldn't have needed MWRD grant, because we done had our stuff already together, they were able to fix that. Because we done had our own money to do stuff. So when we don't have any money to do what we have to do, we have to beg people, kiss up to Paul, and do whatever we need to do to bring the city forward. And as I said in my last meeting, we do all this solidarity. Why don't we get together and move the city forward? Because no matter what we agree or disagree to do, is to help the city. Not yourself, the city. And I would think with social media, all the posting that we do, we could get a GoFundMe. Because all the persons said they knew about this when it first happened. So that was January, it's a whole month later. I think by now.
Conclusion statement, Elaine, thank you.
Please do not do that.
You're rude.
But
You are
guess
out of
what?
order.
Be quiet.
You're out of order.
That's something I always do with this child.
And now we to your vote.
That the home training, the lack of home training.
This has nothing
That's what happened,
to do with
lack of home training.
Honorable Chapman, you are out of order. If you continue to make those comments while another alderman is talking, then I will move for a censure in your room.
We do the same when I'm talking and.
Once she was not saying anything, and when she did, when Alderman Key was talking, when she did what Alderman Key was, please proceed, Alderman Smith.
Yes. As I was saying, if we could go on with the GoFundMe, with all the followers of doing all of what we do, I think it could have been $25 probably that thing have torn down for nobody to have to pay. Because we're working for the community, allegedly. We're for the community. We're trying to be transparent. We have been transparent. We are telling you guys we don't have the money to tear down that house. And that's another lawsuit, because if it was my house, I would be suing you that you got this, the calculated house right here, and I can't fix my house. I gotta be out of my house that's paid for, that I've been paying taxes, while other people around here are not paying taxes for 10 years, like it's nothing to it. I don't like the fact that I'm on O'Reilly's lawsuit, because guess what? Everybody was standing around in that parking lot who could have been getting around and collect some money, was out in the parking lot saying save the businesses that owe the city, that have robbed the city, that literally robbed it. But nobody is tooting that home. Everybody keeps forgetting that part. So like I said, if I had, we always want to vote by popularity. So if we vote by popularity, let's all chip in, because we all love Harvey, allegedly. Stop talking about it, be about it. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
I guess I can go ahead and keep speaking then, right?
You are not recognized, I would advise that you don't do so.
Well, can I advise you to at least answer? All it did was ask a question.
Chair recognizes fourth ward.
Thank you, Mayor. Things are starting to get out of hand once again.
Sir, that's not a point.
Okay, that's not my point of order. My point of order is this: when we talk about money that we can spend and spend our money, I have personally
That's not a parliamentary procedure issue.
And I have
That is a full.
my issue. I haven't
You are out of order,
received
sir.
any support
You are out of order,
at all.
sir. You are out of order. Please.
Okay,
refrain
thank
from
you.
speaking. Look, so we're gonna go ahead and take this vote, y'all. Y'all ready? We got one more? Look. This just goes to show. It seems like it don't matter what the situation is, what's going on, who's involved, there's always going to be some political involvement somewhere. This is actually the type of thing that I think that every Harvey, regardless of what your political persuasion is, whatever your belief is, should be able to get behind. While I understand those people who have burned out homes next to them, they're not out of their homes. and they have not been out of their homes since January 10th. So, but, you know, I learned a long time ago that no good deed goes unpunished. So there will be those that will have something to say negative about it. But I hope it will be received in the spirit in which it is given. That being said, there is a motion by the third, a second by the sixth. You may cast your votes. Motion carries.
That's resolution 3099. 3099.
Next on it. Please let the record reflect that all of the most of the reading in B12. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Public comment is encouraged and appreciated. This is the only opportunity for the public to address the city council on agenda items and any other city-related business. In order to accomplish all business on the agenda and be respectful of everyone's time, council members will not engage in dialogue with individual members of the audience, and no immediate action will be taken on any public comment issue. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. No speaker may donate his or her time to another speaker. Comments should be courteous and respectful at all times. No person may use public comment for the purpose of campaign or advertisement. This is not a question and answer time. The council cannot engage in conversation with the public. Questions and concerns about operations should be addressed with city staff during regular business hours. So before we start public comment, I would like to prepare our public, both those who are in attendance and viewing, of the possibilities of what may happen during such an important event. In general, the law guarantees all of us the ability to participate in public comment. And in most cases, people are allowed to say what they want with very few restrictions. Many times, people will come before the council with a respectful demeanor. They will simply ask for what they want and move on. That usually does not take the entire 3 minutes. However, it appears that things have changed from what they were, say, 20 or even 10 years ago. There is no longer a certain degree of civility. As some of you in the audience and the viewing public can see, it seems that we are headed further and further into the abyss. There's no longer that certain degree of civility and decorum in public meetings. It seems as if chaos and mayhem are the order of the day, and it borders close to anarchy. Because of this, you may hear some of everything. You may hear a variety of threats, intimidation, rumor, and innuendo. Some may be direct or indirect. For example, one may say something happened without providing any intrinsic evidence, only in an attempt to get you to believe that there must be something wrong. To be clear, intrinsic evidence is evidence derived directly from within a document or source itself. How one feels or believes is not intrinsic evidence. Another way of looking at it is to say they pull it out of thin air with no real proof. Now, what would be some examples of these kinds of comments? You may hear from someone claiming to be head of an organization, part of an organization or formerly of another organization. This is primarily an attempt to give themselves credibility so you, the viewing and listening public, may believe that what they are saying is true. But again, they offer no intrinsic evidence. And it is not our responsibility to disprove what they are saying. That's just another way for them to try to make an allegation. They will put forth an allegation in a way to make you believe that if we do not disprove it, then something is wrong and we must be hiding something. Other comments include, but are not limited to, simple allegations. For example, it has been alleged that I do not live in Harvey. It is alleged that I changed my name in order to avoid some criminal type of prosecution. As a result of allegedly changing my name and hiding my history, it is also alleged that I do not qualify to be an attorney, even though I am. It appears that every time the city engages in some positive advancement, then I or someone from my administration allegedly stole the funds, even though that same money was actually used to bring about the advancement being discussed. It is alleged that I, as the chair of the council, am stopping First Amendment rights, even though some courts have cited as how this meeting is conducted. When we tear down abandoned and dilapidated buildings, it must have been because we struck a deal or are doing something illegal. These people seem to bring forth a variety of allegations that imply but do not prove anything improper. If that doesn't work, then simple name calling is the last resort, like all the yes men and things of that nature. Additionally, some may provide complaints with no viable solution. In order to avoid and address this behavior, my office has offered the following recommendations, and I've talked about them before. First, attend Meet the Mayor every Friday from noon until 3 p.m. If you are not able to attend Meet the Mayor, then second, make an appointment with the mayor's office, and we can once again discuss the issue. If one has intrinsic evidence, and I'm going to say this again, if one has intrinsic evidence that there is criminal behavior in this administration, then please, I repeat, please report it to the proper authorities. Some people also use social media as a way of spreading their venom and vitriol and then trying to gain their 15 minutes of fame. And I don't understand why they do what they do. But some commenters continue to do the same thing each and every meeting. Furthermore, it appears they believe that by being the loudest or the most insulting, they must be right in what they are saying. Moreover, they appear to believe by insulting the city council and this administration that it will help them to get what they want. Maybe they never learned that flies are attracted better with sugar than vinegar. Now, those that are guilty of this behavior may act as if they are shocked, mortified, appalled, and incensed by the statement. That's usually the case. Under the U.S. Constitution, they are granted the right to do this. They can make shirts, they can make signs, or even engage sometimes in what may be considered improper but personal attacks. It does not make them right. Unfortunately, it is impossible to think of every single way a person may go about trying to demean, degrade, besmirch, or destroy this administration's reputation. It is also impossible to determine the many reasons one may want to do this. In my opinion, none of it makes sense. You, however, have been provided a little more perspective when it comes to these comments. And so it is up to you to discern how you choose to receive them. That being said, first comment is from Ryan Sidwellski, followed by Chappelle Hooks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan. As you know, I'm a Harvey resident and at the Harvey Historical Society. I just wanted to share a few comments, again, about the comprehensive plan. The meetings, although there may have been a few, I know it was one that last fall, but the additional meetings were really not advertised very clearly. So I just want to make that clear. And even if they were, I mean, we basically live in a police state here, so if we don't say what Mayor Clark thinks is acceptable to say, he sends his police after us, either ticket us or arrest us or otherwise harass us. So, I mean, I don't think we have any business having a comprehensive plan or voting on it, because who's going to show up to a meeting? I ask residents to come all the time, and they're like, I don't know, I'm afraid. Isn't Mayor Clark going to arrest me? I mean, that one lady got a ticket just for whispering. So, I mean, in this environment of a police state, can we really say we're getting public feedback? People are afraid to come to any meeting. Also, as far as all the properties that the city owns, at least 450 or so, I said we need to establish an open and transparent process. Let's prioritize our residents. We have a lot of contractors here. Why are we giving over our properties to outsiders? It doesn't make any sense. So many, I mean, I do real estate, so I've met a lot of contractors in Harvey, and they are very angry because they'd love a chance to bid on these homes and fix them up. And unfortunately, what the mayor's saying is not true, because a lot of them have gone to City Hall and asked, and the answer is always, no, we're not offering anything. Also, as far as the, I like the idea of helping a lady that had a burned out house next to her, but remember, Mayor Clark and the four alder yes men, are hiding where our money is being spent. So why would we want the mayor to pull that stunt? I mean, he could come back and charge us $500,000 and say, oh, well, we found a lot of stuff, and now it's going to cost me, it cost me a lot to demolish that. I mean, if you can't show us the basics of how you're spending money, how dare you, Mayor Clark, and Ms. Smith, Alderwoman Smith, complain about the businesses who work their butts off every day in Harvey? You're going to blame them for our money problems? We don't even know how you spend our money. I mean, you guys had a great Las Vegas trip last year. I wonder what you did there. As Ms. Alderwoman Chapman pointed out, $4,000 were spent just to go to the MWRP. So in my view, none of the stuff should be voted on with a yes, especially if it concerns money. We don't know where you're putting our money. So how are we going to believe you? Everything you're saying, we have no way to prove it. And if you really don't have anything to hide, open the books. It's just that easy. Open the books. Put it online for everybody to see.
Next is Chappelle Hooks, followed by Missouri Urban.
Hello, Harvey. My name is Chappelle Hooks. I'm a 51-year resident. Also, I was elected in 2023 for Harvey Public Library. Thanks for those votes. But to talk about you saying before, this was the last meeting, when you talk about, well, they're leaving and upset because they didn't do what I didn't do what they asked me to do. I never asked you to do anything for me as far as support me in any campaign, endorse me, none of that. But what I did ask you to do, and by your own admission, you said you didn't do what was asked, where Anderson is standing in 2019 when you was elected, I congratulated you, and I asked you, do right by the people. You told me, oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So by your own admission, you didn't do what was asked. And I mean, we are really seeing that. People are being displaced. Money is not being shown where it's allocated. Just all these crazy ordinances and laws. We got 35 police officers every time we have a meeting, but when there's court, you don't see not one in there. They don't have to go through the metal detectors or nothing. But it's people in here doing domestic cases, battery cases, and no police officers at all. Then you're talking about the businesses. Alderwoman Smith, the businesses and their taxes. Have you done your statement of economics? Of interest? Statement of economic interest? I don't know. So, I mean, let's talk about that. You know, it's a lot going on in Harvey for decades. He sat as an alderman, never mentioned anything about businesses not paying. So, where's all that? You lost your building because of taxes, twice. Let's talk about that. Alderwoman Smith, it's hilarious thing. But you need to holler at your boy, he the one that ain't paying taxes. So, there you go.
Next is Missouri, followed by Ruby J. Cunningham.
Hello, everybody. My name is Missouri Urban. I'm a former trustee at the Harvey Public Library, and I've got several concerns that I'd like to bring to you all's attention. Some of these are repeats, and some of these are new things. In regards to the house that you guys want to tear down, I think that's a nice thing that you want to do, Clark. You know, everybody needs a home, everybody needs a place to live in, and when you've been there for a long time, it just becomes a part of you. You know, but that made me think about Miss Tingle and the people on 153rd and Myrtle and how you all kind of battle around that process through of trying to force them off of that block and put that water retention pond in an area where it doesn't even flood. I wish you had that much compassion for them. That's really sad. That's really, really sad that you would do something like that. And I hope that you can reflect back on that and maybe there's something that you can do to help those people out. Also, I'd like to address the process of getting the demolition done. Is Tom Dark still around? Is he still doing it? Where we are on the waiting list? Have you sent out any bids to see how much it would cost to have it done? Maybe we could work out something with the company where, you know, we could do something with them with a tax break where they could do it for us, where we didn't have to pay the full cost. Let's try to get creative on this a little bit, but I really we want more information on what it is that's being done, how much it's going to cost, asbestos, the whole deal. In regards to the zoning, in the city of Harvey, in some places you could build a house on a 25-foot wide lot. Whereas where I live at in the R1 area, I had that changed. But the minimum lot with me is only 50 feet wide. You can't build anything less than that because of the new developments that came here and want to ram in houses with 3-foot variances on the side. I said, and also, the thing that you mentioned about the O'Reilly's, how come you guys didn't go for a no cash bid, take the property away if the taxes aren't being paid, and then take O'Reilly's to court when it became your property and get the money from them? That's kind of the way they should go. Also, Aisha Pickett, who has been treasurer since April of 2019. I'm still waiting on those treasury reports. I know that the mayor's blocking you. It's no secret. You got every other department doing these reports, and the reports are incomplete, inaccurate, no information, no details. I would hope that he would respect the law, seeing as he is an attorney, and provide you the opportunity to give us a report, whether it's complete or not. Thank you.
Next is Rudy J. Donahue.
I really got up here and I wasn't actually going to say anything, but it has come to the point where we are not unified because you have so many complaints, so many things that are in a disdainful manner, so many things that are sort of like competitive with things that you think should be done. But you got the same little, to a certain extent, you got some very, very good people in here. Very smart, very intelligent. But you need to use it in a very reactive and a proactive way combined together to see that there's some positive action. And look at what we had before. And I am saying this from the earnest to the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head. You need to get it together. You complain, and you know they can't answer now. Why don't you go and meet with these people individually? That's what the aldermen are here for. Go on the outside, talk to them, say, we didn't like this, we didn't like that. Come in here and then you give the bad, negative feedback. It's not fair. It's not fair for the people that are looking for progression to move forward. And we will continue to move forward because I have seen it in a very negative way where there have been things in the last 56 years that I have lived here. There were times when you couldn't even come to a meeting because you couldn't say nothing because you were saying the same thing. That's not fair. Now you all think about what I'm saying. I'm probably old enough to be teaching this month. But you already right. That's not right. And you don't stand here and snicker and think that things are gay and all together like that. No. You don't funnel across from each other and talk in the automatic group to each other. You don't disdain each other. You don't bring each other down. This is camaraderie. Bring it together. Fast, quick, and in a hurry. We don't have to stand here we don't come here to bring down, come here to build up. Do something. Got smart people in here. And you say the same old negative thing, and we got to stop it. Because look what's in your heart. And to me, I'm saying this to everybody in here. If you don't like Harvey, move.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hunt. Next on the agenda is the mayoral comment. I think it took a lot of that time toward resolution 3099. But once again, I want to thank those aldermen that voted in favor of it. Thank you for doing so. The city is going to continue to move forward. For those who are interested, here, go ahead.
Mayor Cobb, to the board, to everyone here. My name is Reverend Alma West. I am the one that lives at 15220 Loomis in Harvey. First, let me give you a little story, okay? I'm getting emotional, so don't get over it, okay? 10 months ago, I lost my only child. Cardiac arrest. And that was in April 7th. December the 18th, I had major surgery, 10 hours. 10 hours in the major surgery. And I'm healing now still, but it was 10 hours in surgery. After that, I was only in the hospital for 2.5 weeks. ICU, but God is good.
Come on.
His mercy endured forever. And because of the goodness of God, and I have to say the goodness of the mayor, because of what he did for me in my time of need, I appreciate it. I was in my house for less than 10 days. The house next door caught on fire, not my house. I was trying to eat my beans and hammocks, okay? Enjoying my meal and everything, and then all of a sudden, my house burned. The fire marshal came, knocked on my door. He said the house next door, I didn't know it was burning. The house next door is on fire. I said, okay, I still want to eat, right? Because I'm just trying to recuperate. And then he came less than 5 minutes later and said, your house is on fire. First of all, that has been overwhelming to me. I heard what everybody was saying here, but until you were in my position, my only child, major surgery and fire, don't tell me what the mayor can't do or can do. I'm just being real because God put it in his heart to do it. He did not have to do it. Did nobody else volunteer to come help me do anything other than my insurance. And I'm gonna tell you, I walked out the house with what I had on. I had to have that on for so many days until my friends bought me some clothes to put on because everything was messed up. But I thank God for you, Mayor Clark, for you being steadfast and unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as you know, your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Because God had put it on your heart to do what you did. Forget the politics. You did what you did because God instructed you to do it. And I thank God for you. I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't want nobody to know who I was. But because God is good, his mercy endures forever. He's a great God and he's greatly to be praised. And I thank you all for listening. God bless everybody that like you or don't. But I'm going to pray for you anyhow.
Amen. Let's go. Woo! I don't know what's going on. Thank you, Reverend West. Well, I think nothing else needs to be said. So, children continue. No, it's got to be. Come on, say it again. Y'all ain't getting it. You still ain't getting it. I don't know. You know what? What I'm going to do tonight is, first of all, I'm going to pray hard that what God removes from whatever it is that's in my heart that's preventing me from being able to be my best self, I'm going to pray to him that he does that and that he removes that from me. I'm also asking that you pray for me as well. But like Ruby J. Downey said, we got to tighten up. We got some serious issues. We have a president right now that is trying to take away every single right that we have in this country. And we worried about whether I change my name or not. You know, we're worried about stuff that doesn't put any food on anybody's table and it doesn't put any money in anybody's pocket. You know, Social Security, and because we have some on SSA and SSI, there are some people who may not get their Social Security check on time. For the first time since the establishment of Social Security with the New Deal with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Social Security checks may not come on time. That impacts a lot of people in our city. And if those checks don't come on time, those people not only going to have difficulties paying for food and their pharmaceuticals and necessities, they also have difficulty paying for water. Which means that we as a city may not collect all that we need to collect, but we need to be able to help those who have a problem. We got bigger issues than majoring in the minors that we have. We have bigger issues. Tell you what, because this is how it works with family. After we get over whatever struggle, and we got plenty of them, we are more than welcome to fight each other after that. Okay? But right now, we have to unify as a family to try to make sure that we're protecting each other from the sources outside of here that's trying to attack our people. Because that's exactly what's going on. Does anybody watch the news? Find out what's going on in this country, in this state. It's terrifying. And it's terrifying to think of. But we got social media. They're not talking about nothing productive. We got the media. Not talking about anything productive. And every time they reflect one of you, especially those in the room that are African American, they try to reflect us as being buffoons. Like we don't know how to govern ourselves. That's what happens. But that's because we're majoring in minors. We are majoring in minors. So all I'm asking is, there's a lot of voices out there that are coming after the people in this city in a variety of ways. When Trump sent out that letter talking about he was rescinding all federal funds, you want to talk about people having heart attacks. Because there were people on Medicare and Medicaid that was trying to figure out how they were going to make it the next day, and those doctors don't want to talk to you if they're not getting paid. They don't want to talk to you. Those are real issues. Those are kitchen table issues that Biden used to talk about. Those are the things that we need to discuss. And we need to discuss how we're going to move this city forward in spite of all of that. And we will not be able to do it if we do not come together. So that, on that note, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by the 5th, second by the 6th. All in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, hearing none. Thank you very much. God bless you. It is, I can't see that far, 8:43. Have a great week.